While editing this video, I realized I hadn't recorded much of an intro for you guys, so what we're trying to accomplish with this video is we're setting up an application called NextCloud. NextCloud is a solution for iCloud or Google Drive. It's a privately hosted cloud storage solution. In my opinion, the main benefit of hosting an application like NextCloud is to replace those subscription-based models, preferably with old hardware like this data server that I'm using for my personal NextCloud server, which we're going to set up in a different video where it's going to have public access and you can access it from the internet through a domain. In this video, I'm showing you guys how to set this up completely free. As long as you have the spare hardware sitting around, then you're not spending any money outside of the power to run the device. I also wanted to take a moment to thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the content or if I was able to teach you anything today, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. I do have much more planned as far as like the home lab and ways to improve yourself in IT. I'm actually going to be tearing down my whole lab and rebuilding it from the ground up. So stay tuned for that and enjoy. Thank you. The first method of setting up NextCloud, you won't have to own a domain. It won't be open to the internet. It's going to be only on your local network. Let's get started. So, first thing you want to do is get an install of a Linux server or anything that can run Docker, Windows, Linux, Ubuntu, most things should work. I don't believe it works on Mac. I'd have to look into that. Now, what I have open is a Proxmox virtual machine. I've installed my operating system and I've gotten signed in. So first thing you want to do, depending on if you're accessing the VM locally or your server locally, or if you're gonna SSH into it, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the IP with IP-A. You see the IP for the server is 192.168.0.85. So we're going to go ahead, minimize Google, and open up our terminal. From here, what we're going to do is SSH your username at the IP address of your server. So 0.85. And it's going to ask for your password that you set up when setting up the operating system. I can show you guys how to set up an OS and all that in a separate video. So first thing you want to do, every time you set up a new machine, server, computer, anything, you're going to want to update. So let's go ahead and do that with sudo apt update. It's going to ask for a password again. It's going to install a bunch of updates. I believe I have the latest version downloaded, so it shouldn't install too much. Let's do sudo. Right. Once the update feature is done, we're going to go ahead and do sudo apt upgrade. And that's just going to upgrade all those packages you just downloaded. A lot of stuff. It's going to take a while. Let's just skip to when it's done. Alrighty, based on the speed of your computer, that might have taken some time. Let's go ahead and move into the next step. So what we're going to do is install Docker. Now, if you don't know what Docker is, it is an application for deploying applications. You deploy applications in containers that are pre-configured. There's a little bit of customization to it, but it makes it very easy to just put up and tear down anything you want. So the first command we're going to run, and all of this is going to be in the description, so just look down below and follow along with me. We're going to do curl fssl and then docker sudo sh to run the script, piping in sudo sh. So we're going to hit enter. And what it's going to do is going to pull down all those package contents for Docker and run the shell script. Alrighty, so it looks like Docker has been installed. We're going to do Docker. We're going to type Docker. So Docker looks like it's up. And we didn't get any errors just typing the Docker command. So next we're going to run the Docker install script from linuxserver.io. This will also be in the description. We're just going to paste it in. And you guys are going to need to edit a couple things in here. So what we're doing is we're running docker-d. We're going to name the container NextCloud. And then we're setting permissions and PUID and PGID. Time zone, we're just going to use universal time. Setting the port number that we want to use for the virtual machine or the container. And then setting our volume. This is where you want your volume to be stored. This is just for the configuration, so Not quite as important where you store that. I'm just storing it in the default location for Docker containers. And finally, our /data folder, which is going to be where all of your cloud storage is going to be located. I have that stored on my /media drive. It's just another drive that I mapped to this virtual machine before I started the video. And the last few commands, restart unless stopped, and then the source for the container. Hit enter. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Let's sudo and then the command. That's funny. Now it says unable to find image locally. That just means that it's we don't have the container downloaded. So what we're gonna do is pull it down from the internet to the computer, and it looks like it downloaded the newer image and started it up. So we're gonna do docker ps-a sudo docker ps-a to list all of our Docker containers, and we've got NextCloud. Looks like it's running. Now we just need to open up a web browser, and we're gonna go https://192.168.0.85, and since we use port 443, we shouldn't need to put any /port, but we can do it anyways. Now if you are already using 443 on your server, then you're gonna have to update that to whatever port you used. We're gonna hit enter. It's gonna bring up the scary page. Connection's not private. You're insecure. This is local, so we're gonna hit advanced, proceed, and now we're in the NextCloud setup page. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set up our admin account, name it admin, put in a super secret password. And if you're just using this locally for your private stuff, then you're gonna get this performance warning error. You're fine to just use SQLite, it will be okay. You can always set up another database if you'd like. At that point, it might be better off using the AIO or one of the next methods I'm going to show you guys to set this up. And click install. We will bring it back once this is complete. Alrighty, looks like the application's done installing. Let's go ahead and sign in with those credentials we just made. And once we get logged in, there we go. It's gonna bring us up on this welcome page. What's new? Install NextCloud on all your devices. We're gonna hit the X for now. Okay, now that we're signed in, we can go ahead in the top right, go to administration settings, and check our storage. In the bottom left, that's system. Let's see, the /data directory is gonna have 232 gigs on my system. I gave it a 250 gig hard drive. Moving on, we can set our location, set status. We can go to the app page, and here in the App Store you can download all kinds of cool applications like Draw.io. They have their own Office suite, calendar, lots of cool stuff. Office and text, multimedia, monitoring. Now to elevate this form of setup without having to buy a domain or opening this to the public, you can use a private DNS or a local DNS server to give a local domain name for this application. I'm going to be using Pi-hole. You can use plenty of other DNS solutions. What we're going to do is we're going to go sign into the Pi-hole server. Now, if you want to set up Pi-hole and you would like to know how to get this dashboard, I can definitely show you guys in another video. But for the time being, I'll just show you how to add a DNS record for this server. And it looks like I have one from testing earlier. We're going to delete that. And we're going to add cloud.cclab.local, and then go ahead and type in our IP to the server, 0.85. Add this DNS entry. Perfect. Now, when we go to that, .cclab.local, it shouldn't work. Okay, so we got this error message. We need to add the domain that we chose to the trusted domains within the configuration file. So to do that, we'll go ahead and jump back onto our server. Now, if you use the exact config directory that I added in the script, you can just go ahead and do sudo nano, let's see, var lib, typo, lib docker volumes NextCloud config www NextCloud config, and then slash config.php, I believe is where it would be. Perfect. So from here, this is going to be the PHP configuration for your NextCloud server. Here we're going to go ahead and add another line. I'm going to type in cloud.cclab.local, comma, and for you're just going to type whatever domain you chose. It can be dot anything, whatever, dot whatever, dot whatever. You don't have to put a subdomain. You can just be mycloud.home. Control X, Y, enter. Now we should be able to refresh this page, and we're in our NextCloud server. Alright, so now we are able to access our NextCloud instance at the domain we've chosen. Alrighty, and that's how you set up a private cloud storage to only be used by you on your network.